ain't no rhyme. We don't know the meaning of drought because we keep it so wet. Boy, I swear now it's been a while. Just speaking in general, boy, there is no formidable opponent or at that bone that you never step on it. When you wanna mind the kind of giving hope when they down and out. Dig a hole so deep, ain't no climbing out.
Yeah, I hear him talking reckless. I won't even stress. Just kill him softly with my press. Won't even address. They say it lonely at the top, but this the best. Don't you see me out here shining, better flexing? I hear him talking reckless. I won't even stress. Just kill him softly with my press. Won't even address. They say it lonely at the top, this the best. And even if we die today, don't live forever. Live forever.
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA.
Thank you, Larry. It hosted Super Bowls 42 and 49. And it's University of Phoenix Stadium. That's where we're at in Glendale, Arizona. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Arizona Cardinals. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So out come the Cardinals now for their opening drive. They're led out by their quarterback out of Northwestern University. It's Trevor Siemian.
And this is a game for grit, determination, and somehow finding a way not to panic. What a horrible start for them. I mean, they haven't won a game yet. So now, as a quarterback, you're not just talking to your team. You've got to demonstrate to them what they need to do to win. He's got to be the leader by how he plays.
Watch tight, watch tight. Tight end right. Here we go. 4 down.
A first carry now. This is Johnson. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. And here are the offensive starters for Arizona.
David Johnson's play has forced us to talk about him as one of the premier running backs in the NFL. Good size, so he can run inside and break through some tackles. Also has excellent speed, so he can get to the perimeter, turn the corner, and make it into a big gain. But he also relies on the fact that he was a college wide receiver at one point, and they can utilize him both out of the backfield and in the slot back position in order to get downfield and catch the football.
And this opening drive not going to plan. This is now 3rd and 13.
Here we go. 3-19.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. All day.
A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one. And let's face it, he is so amped up, wanting to get a good get off on the snap, jump too quickly.
Throwing on 3rd down, Siemian. Underneath for Johnson. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that's going to make it 4th down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Jaguars. They get the stop defensively, force the punt. They score without their offense even stepping on the field.
I remember playing on special teams and teasing the guys on offense like, look, don't even worry about it. You guys just hang out over there. We'll bring this one all the way back and get the points we need. In this case, they actually got that done.
So his big play capability in full display there as he's able to return that punt for a touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. The Cardinal offense now making their way back out onto the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Yannick Ngakoue in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Here's Simeon now on second down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Tyler Boyd, the former Pitt Panther, was the target. And that'll make it third down. And we take you through the starting defense for Jacksonville.
When the 2016 NFL Draft concluded, many people looked at Jacksonville and thought, boy, what a steal they got in Jalen Ramsey at cornerback and Myles Jack at linebacker. But Yannick Ngakoue out of Maryland, he ended up finishing second in the AFC among rookies in sacks with 8, and they got a steal at outside linebacker.
And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. Andrew Billings in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball in this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
Returnable here from the 38. And, oh, a good hit there and knocked down hard right near the 39. So here are the Jaguars in great field position already. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback. On the ground, this is Leonard Fournette, and he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Second down following the run.
Flex round! Flex round! Let's go!
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. He's going to fire one deep, middle, and he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have the empirical numbers that say that in recent years the Hail Mary pass has been completed more than it has been, but it feels that way, doesn't it? And I know the defenses are spending more time on it. I think the biggest mistake they make is that they play everything from behind the receiver. I think they've got to start getting people in front as well to try and knock the ball away.
They'll need to get the play off quickly. Now McManus for the extra point. Play clock down to 2, and we get a signal and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. Now McManus to tack on the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. Now McManus on to kick this one off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, Probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Here we go now.
On second down, Johnson. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped. But I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Double tight, guys, double tight.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Following the penalty, it's Johnson. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
One of the things that I observed when Dante Fowler was coming out in the NFL draft, how hard he played the game. Every time I turned on a tape, he was either rushing the passer, making a play, or making a play in space against a ball downfield, or hustling from one sideline to the other. How about that play right there? Making a nice tackle, holding it to a short gain.
So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know when you're at the end spot, you are like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Simeon. Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack. Andrew Billings. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Encroachment. Let's go. Defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Single. I got a single on the slot.
So it looks like somebody may have forgotten the snap count, and a 5-yard penalty ensues.
False start, offense.
Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
Tight end right. Tight end right. Here we go now.
From the gun on third, Simeon. And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. But Jacksonville first down on a pickup of 17. This running game so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
They keep it with Fournette on first down, and he takes it across midfield to the 45. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good, too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
And before they can run another play, the clock hits triple zeros. And time is up on the first quarter. 14-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. They've got it 2nd and 4 to start things out.
Ohio! Ohio! Turn it up! Kill! Ohio! Flex round! Here we go! Red 38! Ohio!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 40. 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Let's go! What? Flex round!
Back to throw. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
Let's go! What? Ohio!
They go play action here on first down.
Hey, check 24!
And that is incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete.
Flex round! Here we go!
On second down, here's Fournette. And not much to speak of there. Maybe a yard down to the 20. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
An extra DB added here for the Cards on third.
Blitz or play coverage.
Ohio! Here we go!
They'll look to throw here. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete.
Brandon, looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. And McManus able to put it through, and the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So it goes down as an 8-play drive, and they cap it with the field goal.
Yeah, they were able to pick up a few first downs along the way, but they couldn't keep the momentum going all the way into the end zone.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off?
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Fournette, a first down carry. Eventually wrangled down before reaching the 20, but a strong run. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Oh, nice move. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Now Grimes. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal.
Well, how many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice gain.
Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. They'll try to punch it in with Fournette, and he'll take this one in for a Jags touchdown. A great effort there with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Jaguars add 6 to their lead.
The touchdown was scored by the runner, but the offensive line, they feel like it's theirs. They blocked that one up perfectly, allowed him easy access to the end zone.
So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. Now McManus on to kick this one off. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Trevor Siemian ready to retake the field. In the second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates, find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. It's a gain of 5.
Watch left, tight end to the left, tight end left. Now let's go. Hey.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And the Jags get to him as down he goes. Yannick Ngakoue in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And he probably should have given that one off as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line. The Cardinals on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 19.
Watch 17, watch 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17.
We remind you that coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will have the highlights and analysis of this first half from our studios in Orlando.
And I have a fairly solid idea about which team will be featured prominently in those highlights.
Might be a little bias. The Cardinals on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be third and 19.
Three down. All right, here we go. No, check.
They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. It'll be a gain of 5, and the punt team will now come out on fourth down.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Fielded just inside the 30. Excellent work on the run back there, 33 yards. And the Jags will have great field position to start this drive as they take over on the short side of the field. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again. And they're going to start in great field position, and they've been starting in great field position in this one thanks to some great punt returns we see here.
And this is why you hear special teams coaches talk about pressing the kicking game, the area of hidden yardage. Although they actually count it, they know that if they bring the ball back big time each time, that helps out their offensive unit. And right now, they've set their group up in enemy field position.
Ohio! Come on, let's go! Ohio!
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. DeMarcus Walker, he's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility, the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles are usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced...
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line.
Well, surprise, surprise, partner. No, we know it's not a surprise. When you try to complete a pass against this Cardinals defense, there's a reason that they are known as the no-fly zone.
Single. Hey, watch 13, watch 13. Here we go now.
After the interception, here's Simeon. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may force them into saying, let's try and get some more.
And he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49. Chandler Jones coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Ohio!
They'll throw now on the final play. And he's going to be out of bounds down near the 35-yard line. We have hit half. My apologies, Larry. I wanted to hear the report. Somebody's in a hurry, so we're going to get him right to quarter number 3. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is taken at the 3. And an alley to run. He's at the 40. Past the 20. Touchdown, Jaguars. And you've used the phrase with me before, pressing the kicking game. What exactly does that mean? Because they did it there.
It means focusing on it, all aspects of it, because it's the third part of the game. Offense, defense, special teams. If you press the kicking game, create an advantage, make a big play, it often leads to victory.
McManus now for the extra point. And they're able to up the lead by one more. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Cardinals offense now ready to get their first opportunity here in the second half. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
Well, they didn't really have to earn that first down, did they?
Well, they're not having earned much, are they? Back-to-back penalties. First was 1st and 5, and now they give them a first down.
Watch tight, watch tight. Tight end right, tight end right.
They give to Johnson going right. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. 3 yards on the pickup there, but they've only got it back to 3rd and 10.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The Cardinals on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
4 down, check. 4 down.
Here's Simeon. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. But you just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
Watch tight end. Ohio, flex round.
On play action, they'll throw. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. Touchdown, Jaguars. Allen Robinson, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Jaguars continue to roll.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. Now McManus on to kick this one off. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Cardinals offense now works their way back onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got backs, trying to figure out what is working and call more of that.
It's a gain of 5 on the play. Handoff, Johnson. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll make it a second down.
And that's another stop for the defense, something we've seen all game long. They have been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had an answer for it.
Again, it's Johnson. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. The Cardinals on third down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5.
3 down. Hurry up, here we go.
From the gun, here's Simeon. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Taking it about the 16. A tremendous return there, 39 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field.
Watch tight. Tight end's right. Watch tight. Tight end's right.
Flex round. Let's go. Flex round. 90.
Hey.
And to give this time to the tailback. Oh, he knocks him over. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. A 14-yard first down pickup for the Jaguars.
All right, it's football 101 to know that the quarterback controls just about everything on offense, but a lot of times what gets missed is that the center controls line play. He has to communicate to the guards and the tackles what type of front they're facing, how they're going to block it, and what adjustments need to be made sometimes on the fly as a defense will shift. Give the center a lot of credit because for the most part, he's got big defensive linemen over his face all game long that he's got to try and block and protect his quarterback and create space for his runner. In this case, he did a really nice job of communicating and executing. They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Tight end to the right, boys. Tight end to the right. Move.
Let's go. Flex round. Ohio. Flex round.
Again, they'll run it with Grimes. He can't bring him down.
The weight room does work.
And down inside the 15 he goes. 10 yards there, good enough for a Jags first down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Fresh set of downs here.
Ohio. Flex round.
Play clock winding down. Now they try the right side here. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, Hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And now here's a carry heading left. Give him 8 yards. There's still a few inches to go, though, as it'll be third down at about the length of the football.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just... And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A great play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Jaguars are pouring it on.
And while no one on the offensive line will get the 6 points next to their name, they should be credited with this one. Tremendous blocking to get the runner into the end. End zone.
That time a 6-play drive. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. Now McManus on to kick this one off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Encroachment defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment defense.
So step off the 5 yards.
Yeah, partner, you know, defensive end, he wants to get into the offensive backfield. He wants that get off to be as fast as possible. A little too quick on that one.
So following the penalty, now 1st and 5.
Hey, we got tight right, tight right.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
Green 39! Green 39! 59's Mike, 59's Mike. Check, 59.
They go to Johnson again. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Call it a gain of a couple there as it'll leave him with a 2nd and just 3.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports.
Check 31, check 31.
On second down, here's Simeon. To the sideline, and oh, that's well done. Able to drag the feet. He's going to have the first down. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Elsewhere around the NFL, they're in the third quarter in Carson. Chargers continue to pull away. They have opened that lead up even further. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. On 1st and 10, Simeon. And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line. And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
They had a solid run down inside the 30. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Dumping it off for Johnson. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
4 down, check.
Simeon on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Green, 39.
To throw on second is Simeon. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Simeon. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And it is good. Oh, that one looked to be in trouble the whole way, but it does get over the bar. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And the Jaguars are going to cover this one up. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. That one good for a gain of 13 for Jacksonville and a first down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. 9 yards yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
I know you're trying to wring every yard out of a run, but I think 9 yards there is ideal in this situation.
Yeah, now next couple plays, you only need 1 yard. Keep that clock rolling with a lead here in the 4th.
Yeah, and what you're saying is maybe if it takes you 1 or 2 more runs to get the first down, that's extra time, extra plays. Really hurts the team on defense.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. This is where, 4th quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
Well, you say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering where they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
I thought that was a good call. Passing situation on 2nd down, they hit him with a draw instead and pick up nice yardage.
Yeah, because the draw, they're thinking pass when they see that initially defensively, right?
Well, in today's NFL, most of the time on 2nd and long, when it's a passing situation, pass rushers are out in the field and they're only thinking one thing, get to the quarterback. And oftentimes you can bypass them with a running play.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the left half, should be a fairly easy one here. And McManus able to put it through. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So it's 3 more points, and that widens things out even further here in the 4th.
Hey, in this league, you can never have too much. So if you're in range, grab the 3 whenever you can.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Give him 7 on the play, and that'll make it a 2nd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
They'll run it with Johnson. And not much of an opening there as he's only going to get this to about the 32. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back. Those are the ones you focus on and want to take away, and they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
It's a gain of 4, and it gets him the first.
And, Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does? It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL, and all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Randall Cobb, the intended receiver, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. On 2nd and 10, Simeon. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them.
No Harvard, but I was a scholar. Hard knocks, and I learned